Anthony Hartwig here with a Poland volleyball season preview, Coach's Corner episode 1 with returning head coach Aleah Diamond. Aleah, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. And before we start talking about this year, what we always do, we want to kind of a recap of last year, what you took away from it, and what the returning players can take away from the lessons learned from last season.
Yeah, last season we had a tough go at it, but the good news is this year we got a lot of people returning back, and that definitely we're on the court a lot, so they have a lot more experience and a lot more playing time coming into this season. As I think last year's a huge learning experience for the girls, and again, I think they're excited to get back on the court with a lot more. They have more confidence coming into this year, and as we're playing, and so we're going to go from there.
I know no one ever wants to go through a rough season. Everyone wants to go and win every game they play. But how much were you thinking last year about, okay, but what we're going through will be good for this year?
I'm definitely, I thought about that often. Like even when you're in those tough games, like trying to find the positives, like telling girls like, hey, I know it's not working out, but we're doing really well at this. Or like volleyball is a game that you might have a real long rally, but you only get 1 point for it at the end. So again, just trying out to point out those good things, and hopefully we can string them together to get those points to rack up on the court.
What do you think is the biggest lesson you want these players to take away from last year? The biggest thing that you hope that they bring from last year's experience?
I think more is just having confidence. Like, again, because coming off that season, like, it's hard to build confidence in that scenario. So if you, or if they can just have more confidence in their experience and that they're going to, again, know what they know how to do. They know how to play the sport of volleyball. So just, again, have confidence in yourselves and your teammates, and then hopefully, again, that's going to result in better results than what we did last year.
Let's have our Meet the Team segment. I want you to go through your roster, the big names that we're going to look for Poland volleyball this year, and maybe some new faces that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, returners that I have that started, my seniors, I have Olivia Meinhardt. She'll be her third year on varsity this year, so she's definitely going to be someone that we look to a lot. Setter, Lucy Ann Hops. She'll be back. Middle blocker, Aubrey Zimmers. And then my last senior is Hannah Kessler. She's a DS back row player. So those are all definitely people that played last year that are going to get more time this year, and we're going to see again. Underclassmen coming back. I have juniors. I have Avery Yakubovic. She's a DS. Leanna Bocheri is like an outside right side hitter. Gianna Costello, outside right side hitter, kind of whatever we need her. Gracie Hunter is a setter. Back row players Harper VC and Maya Kessler. I'm missing someone. And Emerson Goman. She's a middle blocker that, she's going to be a huge help to this team this year. Like I said, last year was her first year on the varsity court. Definitely got a lot of experience and has definitely grown going into this season. And then Izzy Greco, she'll be back. She was an underclassman last year. She's definitely someone that we're going to be relying on this year as well.
When we talk about your schedule, I think everyone knows the NE8 is very tough in volleyball. It's a very competitive conference. What are you kind of expecting out of the league this year, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
Like I said, the league is always competitive. No matter who you're playing in our league, you're looking at a tough game ahead of you. So that's always, like I said, that's a good thing. Like I said, because you're always getting competition. You're always seeing good teams and playing against people that are going to make you better. So going into it, like I said, just kind of focusing on our side of the court, making sure we can do what we need to do, and then making adjustments from there throughout the season. But like I said, we got a tough league, that NE8, and again, it's a good thing. Like I said, have that competition as a team that's trying to, again, get confidence. Like I said, we got to kind of figure it out now in this offseason, because once we get into those games, there's no breaks.
We also know that Poland, no matter what sport we're talking about, doesn't shy away from the schedule outside of the conference either. Who are some teams that pop up that you're excited to test yourself against outside of the NE8?
Yeah, some of we're playing Columbiana, so that they're definitely a good team. Scrappy, so I'm excited to go play them this year. Other teams are Champion. We always have a good match with them. Boardman. I know we play Howland, Canfield. So yeah, we're definitely teams that, excited to go play, set up some competition, and ready to go compete.
Before you came aboard this volleyball team, the whole talk around the program was trying to find consistency in the coaching staff, and you've been able to bring that consistency aboard. What kind of things are you hoping to keep building on your program wise, as far as culture and just work ethic, attitude, things that you have been continually building in this program?
Yeah, I think definitely like work ethic. Again, just kind of having that consistency. Hopefully, they know what I expect out of them. I don't have to focus so much at practice as those little things as like, hey, I want you to do this, or I want you to do this. Like, hopefully, that is something that, um, like I said, it's in their head that they're doing, and then we can focus on moving on to the next step. So again, I think that's definitely been a huge help. And again, they kind of know what I expect of them going into the season, kind of how it works. So it's just something, it just makes it easier rather than trying to get a whole new system later on. And hopefully they see that as well.
You're also starting to get players that were a part of the youth program when you took over, which means their whole really career in Poland, you've had kind of people at least that you've put in place with their hands on them. So, how much of an advantage is that to not have to explain them when they're a freshman of what the program expects? They already know because they've been coached and led by people that you've put in place to get them ready for your varsity.
Um, yeah, kind of the same thing. They just have a little bit of those expectations. I try to help out at 7th and 8th grade practices whenever I can. So again, just kind of seeing a familiar face and um, kind of knowing how I talk, how I'm going to communicate with them. Again, just kind of all more just comfortability where you don't have to focus so much on that later on. Once you get to the season, you can have more focus on the skill and just other things that as they come up.
Exciting times in the Poland field house. We've seen the pictures of the new floor. You guys get to christen it as the volleyball team. How excited are you to kind of step on a new floor in Poland?
It'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, it looks great. I know a lot of time and thought and planning went into that, and like I said, really excited to get that. Like I said, a new floor. It's always exciting and a different change, that something brand new. So it'll be fun to kind of step on that here later on in the month.
I know the community's itching to see volleyball. When is your first home game? When can the Poland fans come out and see you guys for the first time?
Our first home game, it just got changed. I believe it is the first week of September. I can't think of the first. I should have probably had that in front of me. It originally was August 22nd, but due to some scheduling conflicts, we had to change that. So it got pushed back to that following week. The first week of September will be our first home game.
We can't wait, Coach. One of the things that we like to do before we let you go is let you shine a light on your staff, of course, the people that are helping you out, the people that you wouldn't be able to build a program without. So I want to let you shout out your coaching staff and the people we have working with you this season.
Yeah, my JV coach, Dylan Basella, he's been with me since we took over, so he'll be back as well. In 8th grade, I have Elise Dean as a coach and Emma Dunlap. So those are people that will be their 3rd year helping out with the 8th grade team. And then our 7th grade is Mark Wazlowski. He has been there, I think he said this is his 11th year. So he's definitely been there before me. He's a huge help just to get that involvement with those young kids. And then also Brian Banfield, he does a lot for our program, helps with scheduling. Again, wouldn't be able to do half the stuff I do without the administration helping me as well.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we hope to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks for having me.